What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new, and I use the word new very loosely, PLAGUE Rune Word that will be introduced in patch 2.4. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest, I really struggled to find a viable use for this rune word, and I've talked to some other content creators and people in my Discord. The opinion on it is very split. Some people think it's OP, some people think it's hot garbage. I can maybe find a couple niche case uses for it, but I really do think that they kind of neutered this rune word, making it swords only, but I'm going to cover that all in today's video. I'm going to go over the cost, the attributes, and a potential couple niche case uses for it. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, a quick reminder before we jump in though, just want to let you guys know that I do stream twice a week on Twitch, and I got the link for my Twitch channel in the description below. So if you guys enjoy this YouTube content, any follows on that platform would be very much appreciated. That being said, guys, let's jump in. So the rune word Plague is a 3 open socket rune word that requires a Cham, Shale, and Umrune that can now only be rolled in swords. So this was changed from the original text coding, where I believe it was Cham, Fal, So now it's a Shale rune, which does give some extra increased attack speed. That's going to be okay for some builds. But I think that the biggest mistake here with this rune word right off the bat is that it can only be rolled in swords. I feel like it would have been much better if it could have been rolled in all weapons, or maybe claws, swords, and maces, or something like that. The reason why I suggest that is because I feel like there's a missed opportunity here to create an incentive to use something other than Hodo on a lot of different builds. So they did mention that they want to buff up Fist of Heavens for the Paladin. So if you could roll it in Scepters, imagine a +3 to Fist of Heaven Scepter that you roll Plague in, give you Cleansing Aura, and additional skill. Again, incentive to make something other than Hodo. Let's say for a Trapsin, +3 to Light Sentry or +3 to Death Sentry Claw, you could roll Plague, that gives you +4 to Traps, Cleansing Aura. Again, more incentive to use something other than Hodo. That is the first missed opportunity, I think. Although, there's a couple other cool changes that they did introduce that maybe offsets a little bit, but biggest mistake right off the bat, I think, is only being able to roll it in swords. Now, the first major stat here is a 20% chance to cast level 12 low resistance when struck. So this provides you, I believe it's negative 57% all res, and at level 12, it's a pretty solid radius. The big kicker here, though, is it's when struck, not when striking. Now, I did do some experimenting with a hero-edited version of a Crystal Sword Plague for an Act 3 Mercenary, an Ethereal Colossus Blade for an Act 5 Mercenary, and then a Phase Blade for a Rabies Druid. I haven't optimally tested everything, it's only like little bits here and there with hero-edited gear. This does not proc very frequently, though. I found myself, like, waiting for it to go off, especially with the Act 3 Mercenary, where the AI works. If you use, like, an Act 3 Cold Mercenary and you're freezing stuff, you're not really getting struck. That low res never goes off, and it didn't go off too frequently with the Act 5 Mercenary as well. And I was pretty surprised that when I was testing it on a Rabies Druid, again, this is going to be up in the air, like if they change Rabies in the next patch, but it felt like I had stronger clear speed using Grief. So I would hit once with Rabies and then use Feral Rage or Fury in between with Grief that already has negative poison res, as opposed to sacrificing a ton of physical damage for a little bit extra negative poison res and a chance to cast low resistance. In Rabies' current state, it was not an improvement. If anything, I think it was a step back. The next stat is a 25% chance to cast level 15 Poison Nova on striking. This is purely just style points, even with the lower res and the additional negative poison res on this rune word. Level 15 Poison Nova is nothing other than style points. It does look pretty cool. 25% chance of striking. It does proc all the time, so at least it looks cool to kind of make up for the not being very practical, but yeah, it's just really style points. Moving on to the level 14 Cleansing Aura when equipped. This is a pretty powerful aura to have on a rune word. It reduces the duration that you're cursed and you're taking poison damage by 76%. So in Chaos Sanctuary, you're not really going to be cursed very frequently. If everything's cast on you, it's gone in a couple of seconds, so it's very powerful there. The next major change here from the original Plague is it now rolls a flat 1 to all skills as opposed to 1 to 2. I don't understand why it was nerfed, because I don't think that it's that powerful of a rune word to begin with. So if you had that range of 1 to 2, again, it would be better in like claws and scepters if you could roll it in those spaces. So not really kind of sure why they did that there. The 20% increase attack speed, that is from the Shale rune. Now, even in a Phase Blade on a Shapeshifting Druid, you still attack pretty slowly. So don't feel like it's the best case use for a Shapeshifting Druid. It was okay on an Act 5 Mercenary, although I don't think the damage was anything to write home about either. But another nice kind of change here is that it used to be a varying roll. I think it was like 275 to 325 enhanced damage to demons. Now it's just plain enhanced damage across the board. So that's okay. It's an improvement, but I just don't see this rune word actually being that good. And then on top of that, they have negative 23% poison res. Now, I have seen people argue that this would be an effective use on a poison necro. I truly think that a poison necro, like D-Web is the ultimate weapon, but for any necro, bone necro, summon necro, or poison necro, it's getting the first kill and then using corpse explosion to sweep everything else. On players 1 up to like 3 difficulty, you can barely tell the difference using Poison Nova after low res to get the first kill on Hodo compared to D-Web. So some people have argued using Plague as like an intermediate step to get some extra minus poison res before you switch to D-Web. As long as you're not doing like players 8 pit runs, it doesn't really matter because you just teleport, low res, cast Poison Nova, switch damp damage when you get a kill, corpse explode, the whole room's dead. So I personally would use Hodo over spending a Cham rune to make Plague. And then you lose your all res, FCR, that kind of thing. Now, Deadly Strike based on character level is interesting because if you paired it on a melee build with like High Lords and then Gore Riders, that is a lot of additional Deadly Strike. But I don't feel like it has enough raw damage. Like if you were to roll this in a Berserk Rax, it might be like 200 to 300 physical damage. That's nothing compared to like Grief or Breath of the Dying or Oath or Death or even, I don't know. I just don't think it's that crazy. Now, the argument is this is kind of centered around poison damage, which it is true. It will increase poison damage, but it's nothing too crazy for melee build. In the last 2 stats, 25% chance of open wounds, that is from the rune, and then freezes target 3%. So that's a little bit interesting. If you can attack frequently enough, you can keep stuff frozen. I was testing this with the Orden using Hand of Justice. It is pretty cool for crowd control. So this rune word might be a little bit better than what I think, but initial like reading of stats and going over what I've tested and then kind of the niche case uses, I don't think this rune word is that crazy. Now I have dunked on Plague quite a bit, so I do want to spend some time talking about some viable uses. And the first major one that just stands out to me is an Act 5 Mercenary kind of making an intermediate infinity. Maybe this is what Blizzard was intending when they made it swords only, but Act 5 Mercenaries have very aggressive aggro, so they like to get in monster's face and attack, which means they're more likely to be hit and proc lower res more frequently. So if you were to pair this with a Rabies Druid or maybe a Poison Javazon, it might be okay. I really think that this rune word sucks for an Act 3 Mercenary just with the way their aggro works. I don't think it's going to go off too frequently. And that being said, maybe I'm totally wrong, but I do think that they could significantly improve this if they made Plague be able to roll in all weapons and they increase the percent chance of lower res from 20 to say maybe like 33. Now you guys might think that's super OP, but the reason I mentioned 33 is because I believe Brand is a 30% chance to cast amp damage on striking. That's a very powerful curse, but nobody uses it because chance to cast when struck is not an ideal stat. You don't want to be trying or attempting to take damage to proc a curse. So if they up that frequency quite a bit, I think 33, it will go off more often and make it more viable for Rabies or Poison Amazon. That's just kind of my overall thoughts. And if it was in all weapons, I think it'd be great for like Fist of Heaven's Paladin, Traps and Claw, etc. That's kind of my sort of 2 cents on Plague, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree or disagree, but as it stands right now, it's not really kind of moving the rev limiter too much for me personally. I may make this and kind of mess around with an Act 5 Mercenary. And again, I haven't extensively tested it, so maybe I'm completely wrong, but the little bit that I did spend hero editing just doesn't seem that crazy to me. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree or disagree. I'm totally welcome to any feedback. And if you did enjoy this video, if you could throw a like on it, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content on YouTube, and I do stream twice a week on Twitch. So any follows on Twitch or subs on YouTube would be amazing. Other than that, guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.